Good morning. We are about to get started. I'm just dealing with some technical stuff. Okay, thank you for joining today. Let's begin by recapping what we worked on last week, and that'll be the 3 anchors of the body, the listening, and the breath. Let's begin by getting into the mindful body, a posture that is strong and straight, but relaxed. If that seems difficult now, don't worry, that's part of the training. You will be able to hold a strong posture that is relaxed with time. And moving into our second anchor, let's begin with mindfulness of sound. Listening to sounds from within. Maybe you've just had breakfast or you need it and your tummy's gurgling. Perhaps you can listen to your heartbeat or breath or swallowing. Shuffling. There's lots of noise that we make when we think we're being still. All the while noticing the rise and fall of the torso. Taking a deep breath that lifts the rib cage. Reminding ourselves that there isn't a right and wrong way to breathe. It's involuntary, but we can control the speed and depth. And stretching out our mindful ears even further, let's explore the sounds within our meditation room. And finally, extending our mindful listening even further. Let's listen for sounds outside of where we're practicing, maybe elsewhere in our homes, out on the street. Cycling between the anchors of the body, the breath, and sound. noticing how these three little things are enough to keep our brains pretty busy. I would encourage you to treat these anchors with a sense of pleasure and wonder. As soon as we take the work out of something, it's much more interesting for us. So, reminding ourselves that there isn't a right, wrong, it's okay to lose focus and return compassionately to our little job. And how wonderfully indulgent it is to step out of the linear race to get from goal, result, A to B, just stepping out of that for a few moments. And be with the tiny things that are. For example, outside my front window, I have this part of my big spruce tree that's full of sparrows. And the whole tree shakes. And it's so noisy. It's hilarious. I know you can't hear it, but it cracks us up when we're listening to it. And yet, every time I get out there and try to film it, it stops, of course, because I'm a threat. So when I'm sitting here with you practicing and it's quiet, that's when I can finally listen and enjoy all this cheeping. And the crazy way these little birds vibrate this giant tree. It's just one little section of the tree they've taken over. It's pretty funny and really pleasurable for me to enjoy. And I hope that you can find something similar within your environment, within your own body, the sound of your heart, to take you out of the sense of work, accomplishment, getting something done. And let's just spend a couple more moments in silence with the breath and sound. Seeing where you can straighten your body, relax your belly. And let's move on to our new anchor for today. We're going to be covering a body scan as well as mindfulness of thoughts. The mindfulness of thoughts will take us a couple more classes. And that's really where the meat of our practice comes, is in the mindfulness of our thinking. So we'll explore the thoughts with a few different anchors, actually. At this point, I'd like you to draw awareness to your feet on the floor or in bed or wherever you happen to be. Remembering that there's no right, wrong way to do this. If you're still in bed on a Sunday morning, great. Let's send our awareness up our legs to our knees and up to our hips, and just noticing any places of discomfort or lack of ease in our bodies. Where have you got aches and pains? Where do we hold tension? Often it's in the belly, lower back, shoulders, neck. And let's send our awareness through the body, exploring these different places where we keep a lack of ease. And each time you arrive at such a destination, let's stop and take a few deep breaths. Let's begin by relaxing the belly. Just noticing any self-critical thoughts you may have, like my belly's a little bigger than I want after the holidays, and that's okay. Just let it hang out. Sending your awareness further up to relax the shoulders and the neck. And relaxing the face. We keep a lot of tension in the face. At least I do. And just taking a few deep breaths. You might notice that by the time you have relaxed your face, your belly is tense again. And so we're going to cycle through the body one more time, bringing your awareness back down to your feet, up through your body to the top of your head. Envisioning openness and ease and clarity with each breath. And with each exhalation, intentionally releasing what may not be serving us right now. A worry about all the things we have to do, anxiety about a future we can't control. Maybe we're steeped in the abrasiveness of today's political discourse, which is increasingly polarized and confrontational, and creating like a low-grade anxiety, fearfulness, sense of a warlike approach to our brothers and sisters, and that those are things we want to start being aware of and releasing with each exhalation. Inhaling what connects us and what's beautiful, and releasing what doesn't serve. Always with a sense of gratitude that we can choose highest and best in every thought and every breath. And it's those little choices we make that snowball into something magnificent in our lives. Relaxing the hands, the face, the shoulders and belly. So now we've got 4 anchors to keep us very busy. Mindfulness of the strong body, the mindful body, listening, breathing, and this body scan where we deliberately move through the body and release tension with breath. So even with those 4 anchors, if your brain is still busy wandering, welcome to the club. That is the nature of our complex minds, like a wonder, right? And this is nothing to punish ourselves for. This is what makes us creative and logical and problem solvers and complex, interesting beings. So this is something to embrace rather than something to punish and suppress. My mind is very busy. And so at this point, we'll move into our next anchor, which is our first anchor for thoughts. We're going to sit in silent practice and just observe, as we cycle through the various anchors, observe the thoughts that arise. Any thoughts that arise to kind of distract us from our anchors of breath, body. And let's give them a label of time. So let's acknowledge and look at each one and label it as past, present, or future. Reminding ourselves that there's nothing wrong with the busy mind. It is what it is, and it is our nature. And what we're looking for is how to escape being hijacked by the busy mind so that we can continue contributing our highest and best in each moment, especially when we're under pressure. Okay, and let's return to the breath. Let's try to count out 10 breaths, just silently on your own. If you lose count before you get to 10, that's pretty normal. Just start again. The point of this particular meditation is to observe your thoughts. And let's return our attention to center. So for most of us, where our thoughts tend to be is in the future, and it's planning, especially if you're a busy working parent. It's planning the next meal, getting through the day. How am I going to sort this out? So that is very typical. And being in a constant state of planning for the future, it really contributes to our overall sense of stress. So if we are able to take short breaks from that by being very carefully rooted in the present moment, just paying attention to what's happening right now, enjoying the minutiae of the right now, rather than giving our awareness to a future that we haven't lived yet, we can really take a load off of our psychological burdens. Now, if you have very intense emotional situations going on, then your thoughts will be all about that, whether it's present or past. grief, trauma, conflict, those hot, strong human interactions are going to take up all of our bandwidth. And our work in mindful meditation practice is how can we address those skillfully so that we can continue contributing our highest and best to now and future. If the best we can do is observing what those very hot situations are doing to the body and stepping back from that a little bit, that is, I would say that is a success. If anyone has experienced grief, like severe grief, loss of a loved one in the family, you'll understand how hard it is to even sleep a few minutes at a time. Or if you're recovering from a difficult physical problem, a surgery or something, getting from one moment to the next can be overwhelming. So for those intense situations, we rely on getting through life one breath at a time. Over the course of the week, I would be very grateful if you would explore this meditation of thoughts and start noticing where you spend most of your time. Is it obsessing over a past that's gone? Is it worrying about a future that's to come? Or are you able, through your meditation practice, to spend a little more time observing the present moment with a great sense of indulgent pleasure? At least that's for me what is, that is the big payoff for the meditation on the present moment, is the release it provides me from relentless planning for the future. If you have any other feedback for our practice, please contact me either by text or email or phone. And for those who have registered for the certificate for this course, I'll send out this week's written assignment. It won't be long and demanding. It's just a little way to help keep your practice focused, basically. Thank you for sharing this time with me today, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.